A group of GOP lawmakers, spearheaded by Representative Matt Gaetz, are urging Congress not to renew the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, better known as FISA, upon its expiration at the end of this year. The lawmakers say that this would lessen the government's ability to spy on citizens. Gaetz told Fox News Digital, "I think most folks are increasingly concerned about centralized power with our national security apparatus. Given how political they've become, I take great lengths in my legislation to point out that it's both left-wing groups like BLM and also folks who were at the Capitol on January 6th who have seen their rights unfairly violated by FISA, and I'm equally aggrieved by both."
Warrantless domestic spying was stated as unconstitutional in 2008, with then Senator Joe Biden saying that amending FISA to allow for warrantless surveillance of electronic communications, quote, would be a breathtaking and unconstitutional expansion of the president's powers, according to Reason magazine. Today, the Biden administration is defending that same law, Reason magazine explains.
Yes, Joe Biden, as a senator, correctly pointed out the violations of civil liberties that would or could ensue from giving the government this power. Now it is his own administration. And everything that many Democrats at the time warned against has come to pass. Absolutely. The government has used and abused this tool. It's now Biden's administration doing it. And it's interesting how it has changed. Now, I'm not sure where the kind of more progressive members of Congress, your Squad, your Ro Khanna type people are on this. I know many of them have spoken out against FISA in the past. I'm looking for news articles. I'm looking for them saying, yes, we may disagree with Matt Gaetz on whatever, but on this, we're with him. I'm not seeing it. I hope that's just because it hasn't been covered, and they're going to be right there with him because it is so important not to reauthorize this.
Yeah, back in 2020, AOC tweeted strong condemnation of FISA and the expansion of the warrantless surveillance state. I'm not sure, I don't want to jump to conclusions, but Biden's flip-flop certainly demonstrates the path for anybody else's potential flip-flop. Right. I think that Matt Gaetz is right and savvy to point out the extent to which FBI surveillance has been misapplied to equality groups from the civil rights era to the present, including being used to investigate Black Lives Matter protesters and infiltrate these groups in a warrantless and, again, completely outside of the illegal checks and balance system sort of way. And we saw last year that there was the SWAT team arrest of the African socialist leader member who is an older man pulled from his house, asked to sit on the curb, and harassed in these sorts of ways using the surveillance state as a tool. So I think this should be a civil liberties concern that knows no partisan values. We'll see if Matt Gaetz is able to take the high road here and be the only one who's saying we should all be invested in this, or if the progressives will finally step up.
We have to recall how the New York Times has covered this reauthorization battle. A week ago, July 3rd, there was this article from the New York Times that was titled, "GOP Threatens Spy Agency's Surveillance Tool." With hard right Republicans attacking federal law enforcement agencies unwilling to extend their broad powers, a major warrantless surveillance program targeting foreigners overseas may face new limits from Congress. I mean, they're in tears about this.
Yeah.
It's really despicable.
It's scary. It's scary now.
And an intense drive by right-wing Republicans in Congress to vilify the FBI with charges of political bias has imperiled a program.
I mean, you don't
like the program has feelings and they're beating up on it or something.
Right, and you don't need Republican. The facts are what they are about the misuse of the program. So Politico reported in May of this year that the FBI's own audit showed, or rather, they showed a decrease in the misuse of FISA Section 702 authorities, but it's an investigation that people are doing because of evidence that it's being used against these kind of organizations in a kind of non-partisan sort of way. The court records indicated that the FBI used FISA data to run a query of 19,000 donors involved in a congressional campaign in 2020. You're looking at people's political donations. You're looking at their political membership. People should be concerned. And folks on the left used to be concerned. And so I'm very interested to see how this shakes out.
Yeah, this flip for both parties has been remarkable. Obviously, there were, pro-civil liberties voices on the Democratic side. Frankly, there were more of them before. The Republican side, there were always, a couple eclectic, libertarian-inclined weirdos, God love them, who were against this kind of thing at a time where most of the party was saying, no, we need this for why? Do you hate America? Do you want the terrorists to win? That kind of stuff. But warning, the libertarians warning that, if you do this, this will be used against you, this will be used against innocent people, will be used against Republicans. Then, Trump was Trump's campaign aide, Carter Page, I believe his name was surveilled totally improperly by FISA, and Republicans finally did wake up. Oh wow, those lone kooky people were absolutely right. This is going to be used against us, and so there should be substantial bipartisan opposition to this, because there was already plenty of Democratic opposition and not enough Republican opposition. Now there's a lot of Republican opposition, at least some, and Democrats seem to have been like, well, if they're going to use it against Trump, never mind.
Well, House Intelligence Committee ranking member Jim Hines, a Democrat from Connecticut, said in a statement that this FISA opinion provides further evidence that a bipartisan reauthorization of FISA Section 702 must include robust measures to ensure that FBI employees conduct searches of the Bureau's Section 702 databases in a rigorous and responsible way. So wanting the program at least to have some kind of transparency and self-auditing here. But I completely agree that there should be more vocal objections to the misuse of these warrants, the likes of which we used to see and we're just simply not seeing anymore.
Matt Gaetz said he could not be waterboarded into supporting the reauthorization of FISA. Some colorful opposition to this program. We'll have more Rising right after this.